And hello and good evening once again. Welcome to another live stream here on my page here on YouTube, Sports Bonanza John. My name is John. On Kick tonight, Sports Kick John. If you appreciate my content here, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe on YouTube. It would really mean a lot and go a long way. First baseball stream I've done here in about 2-3 weeks as we're getting down the home stretch, the final week and a half of the Major League Baseball season. We've got the Cubs and Reds tonight from Cincinnati, the first of four between these two teams. Final series of the season from between these two NL Central rivals getting set to get underway. I do want to start off before this live stream. I do want to start off with a prayer. Let's do that right now. Lord Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for looking over us, and please protect us all and keep everyone safe. Not only in this game, but just keep everyone safe, Lord, with you looking upon us, Lord. Just keep us safe and put your protection upon us. In your name we pray this, Lord. Amen. Cubs and Reds, first of four, the final series of the season between these two teams. The Cubs clinched a playoff spot yesterday with their win over the Pirates. The Cubs will at least be a wild card team. That's probably what they're going to end up being because it's they're 5 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers. Very unlikely they're going to catch the Brewers for the division title. So the Cubs probably going to have to settle for a wild card. The Reds come into the night 2.5 games behind the New York Mets for that third and final wild card spot in the National League. So the Reds, in these final 10 games of the season, they're going to have to probably at least go 8-2 to have any chance. The Mets won earlier today against the Padres, so the Reds are either going to be 2 back or 3 back of the Mets for that final wild card spot at the end of this game today. Pitching matchup tonight for the Cubs, it's going to be Colin Ray going to the mound, and the Reds are going to send Hunter Green to the hill. So far in the series on the season, the Cubs have a slight edge 5-4 in the regular season series. This 4-game series will be, as I mentioned, the final meeting between these two teams this season. And the Cubs lineup will look like this. Bush, the first baseman, will lead off. Nico Horner at second base will bat second. Ian Happ in left field bats third. Ballesteros DHing tonight in the cleanup spot for the Cubs. New pickup here recently. Suzuki in right field will bat fifth. Kelly, the catcher, bats sixth. Pete Crow Armstrong, who a lot of people think is in the running for the MVP in the National League. He's the center fielder and bats seventh. Dansby Swanson at shortstop will bat eighth. And Shaw at third base will bat ninth and round out the Cubs batting order tonight. Mentioned going up against the Reds starting pitcher tonight. It's going to be Hunter Green getting the start on the mound for the Reds. Hunter Green on the season. This is 18th start of the season, 6-4 record. ERA just right at that 3 mark, 3.01. He's walked 23 and struck out 116 in 92 2/3 innings. So he will go to the mound tonight in pretty much must-win games from here on out for the Reds. As I mentioned, coming in 2.5 games behind the New York Mets for that third and final wild card spot in the National League. They come in with a .500 record, 76-76. Cubs at 88-64 will be playing postseason ball this year. As mentioned, Cubs clinching that playoff spot with a win over the Pirates yesterday. And it's probably going to have to be a wild card what they settle for because I mentioned earlier the Cubs 5 games behind the Brewers. Very unlikely they're going to catch them in the final 10 games. But we've seen things happen before, so we will see how that goes. Cubs currently on a 4-game winning streak coming into this series against the Reds. As the Cubs, we'll see how they do their lineup the rest of the season, if they're going to kind of ease the regular players in the rest of the year since they have clinched that playoff spot. We'll see how the Cubs play that the rest of the season here as we are just about ready for first pitch at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. On a Very warm evening in Cincinnati. 83 degrees at first pitch in Cincinnati. I'm here in the Midwest as well. It's been very unseasonably warm for mid-September in this part of the country. The Cubs will be going to the postseason for the first time since 2020. They lost in the wild card round in 2020. Of course, 2020 had that expanded postseason with more teams in it due to the shortened 50-game season. That was the COVID year. It was a kind of a funky year all around the sports world that year, but the Cubs going back to postseason play for the first time in 5 years. The Reds trying desperately to catch the Mets for that final wild card spot. The Reds also made the postseason back in 2020. And they also lost in the wild card round in that expanded playoffs that year. As Hunter Green is finishing up his warm-up tosses on the mound, trying to get the Reds back over 500 and back within 2 games of the Mets for that final wild card spot in the National League. As we are just about set to go in Cincinnati. First of 4 games this weekend series between the Reds and the Cubs. Told you the Mets, the Reds are catching for that third wild card spot, they won already earlier today against the Padres. So that's why the Reds are now 2.5 back. We'll run down the Major League Baseball scoreboard for you as the evening goes on. As Craig Counsell, in his second year as the Cubs manager, is leading the Cubs to the playoffs. As the season will end a week from this coming Sunday is the final day of the regular season. Wild card round beginning the following Tuesday. Surprisingly sparse crowd in Cincinnati for what's at stake here. And we are underway on a Thursday night, and Hunter Green's first pitch is a strike to Michael Busch. The strike one pitch is inside. Busch on the season hitting at .258. He's got 29 home runs. He's drove in 81 on the season. And here comes the 1-1 pitch to Busch. That's inside as well. The count's now at 2-1. Edwin Moscoso is calling the balls and strikes tonight behind home plate as the 2-1 misses low. It's now 3-1 to Busch. Chad Whitson's over at first base. David Rackley, the umpire at second base, and Brian Walsh over there at third base, the umpiring crew tonight. The 3-1 pitch, and Busch, they appeal, and they say went around. Busch was getting ready to go to first base, but he'll have to go back and retrieve the bat as the count is now full. As third base umpire Brian Walsh says that Busch went too far. Comes the payoff pitch to the leadoff batter, Michael Busch, that hits the inside corner, strike 3. Busch goes down on strikes, and that's how this game begins tonight. Brings up the number 2 hitter, Nico Hoerner. Hoerner hitting at .303, 6 home runs. He's drove in 59 on the season. Pitch from Hunter Green to Hoerner, right down the middle, strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Hoerner's now in an 0-2 hole. 0-2. Hoerner sends that one on one hop to second. A little bit of a bobble. Able to retrieve, though, and throw out Horner at first base for out number 2. That was hit there to second baseman McLean. He had a little bit of a bobble there, but still was able to recover in time to throw out Nico Horner, and that's out number 2. And it'll bring up the left fielder for the Cubs, Ian Happ. Ian Happ hitting .243, 23 home runs on the season. He's drove in 73. As he comes up with the bases empty and 2 outs here in the Cubs' first inning. And Hunter Green's pitch is a little high, ball 1 to Ian Happ. Crowd still filing in on a Thursday night in Cincinnati. 1-0 pitch is strike. 1 ball, 1 strike now. A lot of Cubs fans in the stands tonight, as there usually is when the Cubs come to Cincinnati. 1-1 pitch is a little inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 pitch on the ground to McLean. Another bobble by McLean, but again able to keep it in front of him and throw out Ian Happ at first base, and the Cubs down 1-2-3 in the first. Reds will come up for the first time in the bottom of the first, as they will be taking on the Cubs pitcher tonight, Colin Ray. Colin Ray making his 26th start of the season, in 31 appearances. He's got a record of 10-6. ERA at 4.23, walked 43, struck out 109 in 146 and 2/3 innings. And he will face this Reds batting order tonight. Friedel in center field will lead off. Lux is DHing tonight. He'll bat second. Hayes in left field bats third. Stewart at third base is the cleanup hitter. Benson in right field will bat fifth. Spencer Steer at first base bats sixth. Shortstop Ellie De La Cruz batting seventh. Stevenson, the catcher, bats eighth. And McLean at second base will bat ninth to round out the Reds batting order tonight against Colin Ray, who looks for his 11th win of the season. As Hunter Green, the Reds' counterpart on the mound, shut down the Cubs 1-2-3 in the first. And now it is the Reds' turn to come up on offense. Well, looking at a couple scores before we resume, the hottest team right now is Cleveland. They completed a sweep of the Tigers 3-1. Cleveland's all of a sudden gotten themselves back in that American League Central race. They're now just, I believe, 3.5 behind the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers look like they had that division locked up. But here comes Cleveland making a late run. As mentioned, the Mets beat the Padres earlier 6-1. That's the team the Reds are chasing in the National League wild card. Reds, if they can win this opener of this series tonight, will pull within 2 of the Mets for that final wild card spot. So here we go. First pitch, bottom of the first, is on the inside corner. Strike 1 to the leadoff hitter, Friedel. TJ Friedel hitting .259, 12 home runs. He's drove in 48 on the season. And the 0-1 pitch is lined into left field. Playable out there, however, in left field, and the catch made by Ian Happ for the first out in the bottom of the first. We'll bring up Gavin Lux, DHing tonight for the Reds. Lux hitting .267 on the season. He's got 5 home runs. He's drove in 50. And Ray's pitch to Lux, a swing and a miss for strike 1. Here comes the strike one pitch. That's a little inside. That will even the count, a ball and a strike. 1-1 pitch. Inside, and now it's 2-1 the count to Gavin Lux. Here comes the 2-1. That hits the outside corner in the zone, 2-2. Two-two pitch from Ray to Lux. That's lined into right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. And the first base runner of the night is a one-out single for Gavin Lux here in the bottom of the first. Britt will bring up the Reds left fielder, Austin Hayes. Hayes hitting at .266, 15 home runs, 64 runs batted in. Lux a very short lead at first base, and the pitch from Ray, swing and a miss. Hayes with a hard swing there, strike one. Strike one pitch on the way from Colin Ray. Hayes sends it into center field coming. That's going to get down for a base hit. Lux had to hold up to see if it was going to get caught, so he can only advance to second, but the Reds 2 on here with one out in the bottom of the first. And it'll bring up the Reds cleanup hitter, be Sal Stewart. Stewart in just his 14th game with the Reds, hitting .286. He's got 4 home runs, and he's drove in 6. Swing and a miss, strike one. First and second, one out for the Reds here in the bottom of the first. Ray looks in and delivers. Stewart hits it foul, and now Sal Stewart is in an 0-2 hole. Reds an early scoring chance to dent the scoreboard first against the playoff-bound Chicago Cubs. Stewart looks in on Ray, and Ray set to deliver the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got Stewart to chase, and that's the first strikeout, and there's out number 2 here in the bottom of the first. And the batter for the Reds will be the number 5 hitter, Will Benson. Benson hitting at .227. He's got 12 home runs on the season. He's drove in 39. He's got an RBI chance here with 2 outs. Ray's pitch to Benson. A little outside, ball 1. First and second, 2 out for the Reds. The pitch to Benson is a swing and a miss. Counts even, 1-1. Benson looks in on Ray as Ray delivers the 1-1. Benson, that's hit lined right to first. That was a dart, but right to Michael Busch. And the Reds strand 2 here in the bottom of the first. End of 1 in Cincinnati. Cubs and Reds, no score. Cubs will send the 4, 5, and 6 hitters up. Ballesteros, Suzuki, and Kelly in the second inning against Hunter Green, who retired the Cubs 1-2-3 in the first. Moises Ballesteros, leadoff hitter for the Cubs here in the second. Just the 13th game he's appeared in this year. As he comes in with a .308 average. 2 home runs. He's drove in 9 in 12 games. Running down a couple other scores for you. AL East leading Blue Jays. They fall today in Tampa 4-0 to the Rays. So the Yankees, a chance to pick up ground in the AL East. Yankees on a little bit of a roll here in the last 3 weeks, and they picked up 2 in the top of the first in Baltimore. Yankees lead that game 2-0. Red Sox lose at home today to the A's 5-3. Mariners a 2-0 win in Kansas City. Just about 10 minutes away from first pitch in Milwaukee between the Brewers and the Angels, and then later on out west, the Dodgers and the Giants. But back here, it's 0-0, Cubs and Reds, as we get set to go to the top half of the second inning in a game that features a team, the Cubs, that clinched a playoff spot with their win over the Pirates yesterday, and the Reds hoping to get to the postseason. They come in tonight, as I mentioned a couple times, 2.5 games behind the New York Mets for that third and final wild card spot in the National League. Mets winners earlier today over the Padres. Top 2, first pitch to Ballesteros is fouled away for strike 1. A 1 pitch is a 1 hop to McLean at second, and the throw over to first, and an easy out recorded there for the first out here in the top of the second inning. Here comes Seiya Suzuki. Coming in hitting .243. He's got 27 home runs on the season. He's drove in 91. He is the Cubs RBI leader with those 91 RBIs. The pitch to Suzuki right down the middle from Hunter Green, strike 1. Strike 1 pitch from Green to Suzuki, a little high. Boy, Green is bringing it tonight. He's hit 100 miles an hour on the radar gun a few pitches already. 1-1 pitch to Suzuki. Suzuki fouls it away, and he's down 1-2. Suzuki steps back in the box and awaits Hunter Green's 1-2 pitch. And here it is. Upstairs, counts even now 2-2. 2-2 pitch. And Suzuki just got a piece of that to foul it off. And the count stays 2-2. Another 2-2 pitch to Suzuki from Hunter Green. There it is. Swing and a miss. Suzuki strikes out, and there's out number 2 here in the top of the second. And brings up the Cubs catcher, Carson Kelly, number 6 hitter. Kelly hitting at .257, 17 home runs. He's drove in 50 on the season. And the pitch is down the middle, strike 1 to Carson Kelly. Here comes the strike 1 pitch on the way from Hunter Green. Kelly sends it in the air to center, and playable out there in center field, and the catch made by Friedel. And the Cubs go 1-2-3 for the second inning in a row. We go the bottom of the second in Cincinnati. Cubs and Reds, no score. It'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Reds. Steer, De La Cruz, and Stevenson due up here in the bottom of the second inning. I told you this game with playoff implications. This is the first of a 4-game weekend series between these two teams. A huge, huge series starting tomorrow night in Houston. Probably going to decide the AL West. The Mariners and the Astros kick off a 3-game series in Houston tomorrow night. Brewers, as mentioned earlier, get set to take on the Angels tonight, and then they travel to St. Louis for a weekend series. Brewers have a 5-game lead in the AL Central, or in the NL Central rather, over the Cubs with 10 to go. So the Brewers trying to reduce their magic number to win the NL Central. If the Brewers win tonight and the Cubs lose, that would reduce the Brewers' magic number to 3 to clinch the National League Central. As they are just about set for first pitch, the Brewers up in Milwaukee against the Angels. So here we get set for the bottom of the second inning. It's going to be the number 6 hitter, Spencer Steer, leading it off in the bottom of the second for the Reds. Steer coming in, hitting at .242 on the season. He's got 18 home runs. He's drove in 69. This is a Reds team that as a team this season is only hitting .246. As Steer takes the first pitch at the knees for strike 1. Strike 1 pitch to Spencer Steer on the outside corner, and quickly Steer's down in the count, 0-2. Oh, 2 pitch is outside, and the count's now a ball and 2 strikes to Spencer Steer. Steer looks in and awaits Colin Ray's 1-2 pitch. Outside, the appeal to first base, Steer did not swing, and that will even the count 2-2. 2-2 pitch to Spencer Steer from Colin Ray. Outside, and Steer's battled back from being down 0-2 to now a full count. Here comes the 3-2 payoff pitch. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Steer caught looking. That's the first out here in the bottom of the second, and it'll bring up the young sensation for the Reds, Elly De La Cruz. Hitting at .263, 19 home runs. He's drove in 82. De La Cruz leading the Reds in home runs, RBIs, and hits. First pitch swinging, De La Cruz sent into left center field. Calling out there is Ian Happ, and he's got it for out number 2. As it will now bring up the Reds catcher, Tyler Stevenson. Stevenson hitting at .225, 11 home runs. He's drove in 46 on the year. As he comes up with 2 outs, nobody on. in a scoreless bottom of the second. And the pitch to Stevenson is a strike. Strike one pitch to Tyler Stevenson. That's down the middle again, and Stevenson in an 0-2 hole. Oh-2 pitch. It's check swing, no swing, according to the first base umpire, and is now 1-2. One-two pitch from Ray to Tyler Stevenson. In the air to right. That's going to be playable out there in right field for Suzuki. And the Reds retired 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second. 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for the Cubs. It's going to be Pete Crow Armstrong. The hitter for the Cubs that's going to lead off the third, Pete Crow Armstrong, in the MVP talk in the National League right now. It'd definitely be a good pick. He's going to lead off the third for the Cubs. He'll be followed by Dansby, Swanson, and Shaw. In the third inning in a 0-0 game through 2. During this break, I want to update you on the upcoming live stream schedule on my page. I'm going to be back with you on Saturday for 2 college football games. I always do 1 FCS and 1 FBS game on Saturdays. 2 college football games coming up this Saturday. We're going to start off. Indiana State and Montana will be the first game on Saturday, and then we'll be back with you later on Saturday for Illinois and Indiana. That is a very highly anticipated matchup there between 2 undefeated teams in the Big Ten. A big early season matchup in college football, Fighting Illini and the Hoosiers. So Indiana State and Montana, and then Illinois and Indiana, the 2 college football live stream games for you coming up this Saturday. And then I'll be back with you Sunday night for the Sunday night NFL game between the Chiefs and the Giants. That's about as must win as you can have for a week 3 game for those 2 teams. The loser of that game starts off 0-3. I don't think anybody thought the Chiefs would be in this situation right now, but here they are. So that's the upcoming live stream schedule on my page for this coming weekend. Then we'll have some more baseball for you on the live stream next week as well. And next week, the final week of the regular season in Major League Baseball. And then postseason play after that. I'll have a lot of postseason baseball on the live stream on the page for you when playoffs start. But back to this one here, 0-0, Cubs and Reds as we get set to go to the top of the third inning. And here is Pete Crow Armstrong to lead it off, hitting .247, 29 home runs. He drove in 90. And first pitch swinging for Pete Crow Armstrong is into right field, and the catch made out there by Benson as he fell to the ground going down to make that catch. And 1 pitch, 1 out here in the Cubs' third inning. And now it'll bring up the shortstop, Dansby Swanson. Swanson coming in, hitting .250 on the season. He's got 22 home runs. He's drove in 75. Hunter Green's pitch to Swanson is a strike. Another pitch that Hunter Green hits the triple digits on the radar gun. Strike 1 pitch, swing and a miss by Swanson, and he's down in the count, 0-2. Strike 2 pitch from Green to Swanson. Popped up on the infield. Second baseman McLean is there, and he's got it for out number 2. And it will bring up the number 9 hitter for the Cubs, third baseman Matt Shaw. Shaw coming in hitting .222, 11 home runs. He's drove in 40 on the season. And pitch down low for ball 1 to Shaw. 1-0 pitch to Shaw. Strike 1. This is a Cubs team that isn't a super effective hitting team either. As a team, their team batting average on the season's .250. 1-1 pitch to Swanson. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Hunter Green's 1-2 pitch to Matt Shaw. And the pitch. Downstairs, and that'll even the count on Shaw, 2-2. Two-two pitch. Foul back, and we'll do it again. Hunter Green looks in on Shaw and delivers another 2-2 pitch. And here it is. Outside, and that will fill the count, 3-2. Three-two payoff pitch from Hunter Green to Matt Shaw. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Green strikes out Shaw. It's 9 up, 9 down for Hunter Green so far. As we go to the bottom of the third in Cincinnati, Cubs and Reds are scoreless. Reds will have the 9, 1, and 2 hitters, McLean, and then the top of the order, Friedel and Lux. In the bottom of the third inning against Colin Ray. Been a pitcher's duel so far between these two teams. Other sports news and sports action from the day. Big news in Major League Baseball. I failed to mention this at the outset, but the big news in Major League Baseball that broke a few hours ago. Clayton Kershaw, pitcher of the Dodgers, announcing that this is going to be his final season. He is going to be retiring at the conclusion of this season as the Dodgers look to send him out as a champ and trying to go back-to-back World Series championships. And what is, I would think, going to be a sure Hall of Famer. He's over the 3,000 strikeouts, so I don't think there's any question you're going to see him when he gets eligible. Definitely enter Cooperstown. And other news around the sports world today. Of course, we have Thursday night football tonight. The struggling Dolphins heading to Buffalo to take on the Bills. That looks like a mismatch on paper, but that's why they play the games, right? And a couple updates on baseball scores. Yankees still lead in Baltimore 2-0, bottom of the second inning out there at Camden Yards. And they have gotten underway in Milwaukee between the Angels and the Brewers. And here it is 0-0 Cubs and Reds as we get set to go to the bottom of the third inning. It's going to be Matt McLean, the number 9 hitter, leading off for the Reds here in the bottom of the third. McLean coming in hitting .223. 14 home runs. He's drove in 48 on the season. As the Reds look to get some offense going. First pitch, bottom 3, swing and a miss. Strike 1. 0-1 pitch. That's down the middle as well. 0-2 the count on McLean. Strike 2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night on 3 pitches. Third strikeout for Colin Ray, and now we're back to the top of the order in Friedel. Friedel 0 for 1 so far. And the pitch is a strike. Strike 1 pitch to TJ Friedel. Strike 2. 0-2 the count on Friedel. Here comes Ray's 0-2 pitch to Friedel. Now the delivery. Outside, a ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch. Friedel breaks his bat as that's foul, first base side. That bat just shattered. Half of it went into the stands and was caught by a fan up there. Boy, that bat just absolutely shattered. Fan in the stands got himself a nice souvenir, half a bat. Looks like everybody's all right. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Friedel goes down on strike. Strikeout number 4 for Colin Ray. 2 down in the inning. And it will bring up Gavin Lux. Lux singled his first time up against Ray back in the first. Lux shows bunt and takes a strike. Comes the strike 1 pitch to Lux. Not showing bunt this time and takes low, 1-1. One pitch. Fouled off, and Lux is down in the count, 1-2. Ray steps in and delivers the 1-1 pitch to Lux. Or 1-2 pitch, rather. That's downstairs, 2-2. Two pitch. Called strike 3. Lux goes down. The 5th strikeout for Ray. Reds retired in order in the 3rd. We're moving right along here. We've played 3 in Cincinnati. Cubs and Reds, no score. Top of the order due up for the Cubs in the 4th. Bush, Horner, and Happ against Hunter Green. Couple other big series this weekend in Major League Baseball. Mentioned Cleveland on a roll. They've pulled within 3.5 of the Tigers. They begin a series in Minnesota this weekend against the Twins. Tigers, who are now just trying to hang on for dear life to win the division, they host the Braves for 3 this weekend. It's a couple other big series coming up this coming weekend. This for the Reds, this 4-game series, this is the first of 7 in a row at home for the Reds as they're trying to catch the Mets, and it will be their final 7 home games of the season, barring a postseason appearance. The Reds host the Cubs for 4, and then they will host the Pirates for 3. Again, coming into the night, 2.5 games behind the Mets for that third and final wild card spot in the National League. Mets this weekend host the Nationals at Citi Field. Trying to get back to postseason play again this year are the Mets. So a lot of big series still to come. A lot of big series in baseball still yet to go in this final, 10 days, 11 days of the regular season. And here it's 0-0 Cubs and Reds as we head to the 4th inning. Michael Busch leads off the Cubs' 4th. He's 0 for 1, as is everybody in the Cubs lineup, and Busch takes low for ball 1. Busch a strikeout victim his first time against Hunter Green. The 1-0 pitch down low. It's 2-0. Pitch from Hunter Green. Busch sends it in the air to left center. That's going to be playable out there. And the catch made by the left fielder Hayes for the first out here in the top of the 4th. Brings up Nico Hoerner. And Hoerner, the first pitch is hit down the first base line and foul for strike 1. Here comes the strike 1 pitch to Nico Hoerner. Hoerner hits it to short. Easy play there, and the throw to first for out number 2 is the play made there at short by Elly De La Cruz, and that's out number 2, and it'll bring up Ian Happ. Pitch from Hunter Green to Ian Happ is outside, ball 1. Happ a ground out his first time up. 1-0 pitch. There's a strike. Counts even a ball and a strike. One pitch to Ian Happ down low, 2-1 now. Two ball, 1 strike pitch. Happ, and that's hit to the shortstop off the end of the bat, De La Cruz. And 12 up, 12 down for Hunter Green. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Cubs and Reds, still no score. It's going to be Hayes, Stewart, and Benson, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Reds. Due up here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and quite the pitcher's duel shaping up tonight so far. between the Cubs and the Reds. Dave, get you any updates? Yankees still leading that game in Baltimore 2-0. That game's heading to the bottom of the third. Angels Brewers 0-0 after one in Milwaukee. The only other two games ongoing right now, everything else has gone final. And Giants and Dodgers, first pitch later on at Dodger Stadium between those two rivals. But here in the Cubs and Reds, it is 0-0 in Cincinnati as we get set to go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. It's going to be Austin Hayes leading off for the Reds. He singled his first time back in the first inning. Got some big college football games on the slate this weekend for you as well. Of course, that big one, as I mentioned, I'm going to be live streaming Saturday night, Illinois and Indiana. Also got, it seems so weird to see Oregon State and Oregon in week 4 of the season, along with Washington State and Washington. Got the Apple Cup going on this weekend as well. Auburn and Oklahoma, that's a good early season SEC matchup. So a lot of good college football games on the slate this weekend. And here in Cincinnati, Reds and Cubs 0-0, bottom of the fourth. Swing and a miss by Hayes to begin the bottom of the fourth. Strike one pitch. Hayes showed bunt there. And the appeal to the first base umpire. And first base umpire says no attempt, so that's going to even the count of ball and a strike. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss by Hayes. Ball and 2 strikes now. One-two pitch from Ray to Hayes. Bounce foul, third base side, and we'll do it again. Ray resets and gets set to deliver another 1-2 pitch to Austin Hayes. Swing and a miss. Or no, actually, he just got a piece to foul it off. So it stays 1-2. Another 1-2 pitch from Ray to Hayes. That's lined into right center field, and that's going to get down and bounce off the wall on the warning track. Hayes rounding first, in at second with a stand-up double to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning for the Reds. Austin Hayes 2 for 2. That will bring up Sal Stewart. So a great chance for the Reds to get on the board with this leadoff double here in the bottom of the fourth. Ray's pitch to Stewart. Foul back, strike one. Sal Stewart, a strikeout victim his first time up. Strike one pitch. Oh, now 0-2 on this foul ball. Stewart steps back in the box and awaits Colin Ray's 0-2 pitch. Fouled away. Stewart stays alive. Oh, 2 pitch. Stewart swings and misses. He goes down for the second time. That's 6 strikeouts for Colin Ray in this one. 1 down for the Reds, and it will bring up Will Benson. Ray looks in on Benson and delivers. It's down low, ball 1. Benson lined out to the first baseman Bush to end the bottom of the first. The only other scoring chance that any other team has had is the Reds stranded 2 on base in the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 pitch is fouled away, and that will even the count of ball and a strike. Benson steps back in the box and awaits Colin Ray's 1-1 pitch. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Benson now down in the count of ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch on the way. That's down low. Benson checked his swing. It's now 2-2. Benson steps back in again and awaits Colin Ray's 2-2 pitch. That's lined into right center field. That's going to get down. That's going to score a run. Rounding third and scoring is Hayes, the first run of the game. RBI double for Benson. It's 1-0 Reds. Two doubles in the inning for the Reds, and they break loose on the scoreboard here in the bottom of the fourth. And the batter will be Spencer Steer. Steer, a strikeout victim his first time up against Colin Ray. And the turn and looking Benson back to second. The pitch to Steer right down the middle, strike 1. Strike 1 pitch to Spencer Steer. Hit to short on 1 hop. The throw to first dug out at first base by Bush for out number 2. And here comes Ellie De La Cruz with 2 outs. Benson held at second on that ground out. De La Cruz takes strike one. De La Cruz awaits Ray's 0-1 pitch. Inside, that'll even the count of all and a strike. One pitch. De La Cruz sends it into right, but coming on in right field for the catch is Suzuki to end the bottom of the fourth. But the Reds get on the scoreboard with an RBI double from Will Benson that drove in Austin Hayes. And after 4 in Cincinnati, it's the Reds 1 and the Cubs nothing. It'll be the middle of the Cubs order. Ballesteros, Suzuki, and Kelly due up here in the fifth, now trailing for the first time in the game, 1-0. We've got also in the sports world a couple of decisive game threes in the WNBA playoffs tonight. 4 minutes to go, second quarter, decisive game 3 between Indiana and Atlanta. Atlanta leading that game 43-40. And coming up later on, a decisive game 3 between Seattle and Las Vegas out west. We will have one more game 3 tomorrow in the WNBA playoffs, New York and Phoenix. As the WNBA hitting their playoffs. Thursday night NFL just about to kick off in Buffalo between the Dolphins and the Bills. Bills a heavy favorite in that game tonight. And here in this one, it's the Reds leading the Cubs 1-0. We are set to go to the top half of the fifth inning. Ballesteros will lead it off for the Cubs here in the top of the fifth, cleanup hitter. As Hunter Green has retired the first 12 Cubs he's faced tonight. And back out for the top of the fifth, first pitch to Ballesteros, inside, ball 1. Green only at 44 pitches. 1-0 pitch right down the middle, strike 1. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Ballesteros down in the count 1-2. Hunter Green's 1-2 pitch to Ballesteros. Up the middle, but there's De La Cruz, and he bobbles it. And that's going to be the first Cubs base runner. That's probably going to be an E6. It hit the base, but it bounded right to De La Cruz, and even though it hit the base, that's probably a play he should make. I take that back. It never did hit the base. It went right over the top of the base. Yeah, that's definitely, I would think, going to be scored an error. So the Cubs have their first base runner of the game as Suzuki steps up And it is scored an error on Elly De La Cruz. That is his 25th error of the season. So that's been one of the issues on De La Cruz since coming up. He's got some fielding issues that he does need to get corrected. That's a strike to Suzuki, and he's now in an 0-2 hole. Suzuki, a strikeout victim his first time against Hunter Green. Oh, 2 pitch. Popped up on the infield. Way up there. Second baseman McLean calls and makes the catch for the first out. Brings up Carson Kelly, the Cubs catcher. And the pitch is a little outside to Carson Kelly, ball 1. Kelly flew out to end the second inning. Green's pitch, swing and a miss, ball and a strike. The count on Carson Kelly. One pitch. That's fouled away, and now it's 1-2 the count on Carson Kelly. Ballesteros, very short lead at first, and the 1-2, instead it's a throw over to check on Ballesteros. One-two pitch. Called strike 3, and Kelly knew it. Strikeout number 4 for Hunter Green. And here comes Pete Crow Armstrong with a man on and 2 out. The pitch to Crow Armstrong downstairs, ball 1. One-0 pitch. Pete Crow Armstrong inside, 2-0 now. Pete Crow Armstrong lined out to begin the top of the third. 2-0 pitch. And that's going to get through. Ballesteros rounding second. And what do we have here? It's like they called Ballesteros. Looks like that may have hit Ballesteros off the bat. And so he's going to be out, and that's going to end the inning. Ballesteros a little shaken up here. And let's see. Yeah, batted ball hit. Ooh, got him right on the side of the. Good thing he had the helmet there, but he's a little woozy, it looks like. But it was a batted ball that hit Ballesteros. So that's going to be an out, and that's going to end the 5th inning. Cubs do not score. There was an error, but it did not hurt the Reds. We're halfway through it. It's the Reds 1 and the Cubs nothing. The Reds will have 8, 9, and 1 due up in the bottom of the 5th. Sorry for the delay on that call there. I didn't realize they were showing the ump. That's the one problem I don't like with them showing the ump cam, is if there's a play over there at first base like there was right there, you can't see what's going on. But on the replay, it did show that the batted ball hit Ballesteros. So the Reds maintain the 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Update on that Yankees-Orioles game in Baltimore. Yankees still lead that 2-0. That game is heading to the top of the 5th inning. So here we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Reds leading the Cubs 1-0. Mets have already won today. They beat the Padres 6-1 earlier today. That's the team the Reds are catching in the wild card standings to come into the night 2.5 behind the New York Mets for that third and final wild card spot in the National League. Stevenson will lead off the bottom of the 5th for the Reds. Stevenson 0 for 1 so far in the game. Both pitchers have pitched very, very well tonight. But the Reds with that run in the 4th inning, the difference so far is they lead this game 1-0. First pitch, bottom 5 from Ray to Stevenson is fouled away, strike 1. Strike 1 pitch. Fouled away. Stevenson quickly down on the count, 0-2. It's like Ballesteros having some fun with his teammates in the dugout, so it looks like he's going to be all right. Oh, a pretty good shot on the side of the head. Off the helmet there. 0-2, and Stevenson went around. He tried to check his swing, but could not, and that's the 7th strikeout for Colin Ray. 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. We'll bring up Matt McLean. McLean is one of the 7 strikeout victims against Ray. And the pitch, ball 1, as that pitch gets to the backstop. One 0 pitch to McLean. There's a strike, 1-1. Top of the order for the Reds, Friedel on deck. 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1 the count now. Two-one pitch. That's in the air to right center field. And on the warning track, the catch made out there in right center field by Pete Crow Armstrong for out number 2. And here's the top of the order, TJ Friedel. Friedel 0 for 2. And the pitch to Friedel popped up on the infield. Shortstop Dansby Swanson has it, and the Reds retired 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 5th. On we go to the 6th in Cincinnati. It is still the Reds 1 and the Cubs nothing. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Cubs. Swanson, Shaw, and then the top of the order, Bush. In the 6th against Hunter Green, who's only thrown 57 pitches through 5 hitless innings. The only batter the Cubs have had was Ballesteros reaching on that error by Ellie De La Cruz to begin the top of the 5th. Mentioned this is the final series of the year between these two teams. It's a 4-game weekend series. Cubs currently have a 5-4 edge over the Reds in the season series. Still a 2-0 lead for the Yankees in Baltimore, top of the 5th inning. Angels Brewers scoreless, top of the 4th in Milwaukee. In the Thursday night NFL game, the Dolphins have put up an early touchdown in Buffalo. Dolphins lead 7-0. I said that looks like a mismatch on paper, but that's why you play the games. So here we go. Top of the 6th inning in Cincinnati. Dansby Swanson will lead it off in the Cubs' 6th. Has Hunter Green back to work. First pitch, top 6 on the ground to third, and 1 pitch and 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning on that ground out to Stewart at third base. Bring up Matt Shaw. Shaw, a strikeout victim his first time up. The pitch to Shaw is a little off the plate for ball 1. Green's 1-0 pitch to Shaw. Right down the middle, strike 1. One pitch. Popped up. Foul ground. Is it playable? It is not. It'll reach the seats. It's 1-2 now. Green delivers the 1-2 pitch to Shaw. That's fouled back, and we'll do it again. One-two pitch, swing and a miss. Shaw went after one outside. He strikes out for the second time, the 5th strikeout for Hunter Green. And we're back to the top of the order, Michael Busch. Busch is 0 for 2. Busch takes low for ball 1. Busch a strikeout and a flyout in his 2 plate appearances so far tonight. That's down low, and Busch ahead of the count now, 2-0. Two-zero pitch. That's low. It's now 3-0 to Michael Busch. Taken all the way, and that's a strike at the knees, 3-1. 3-1 pitch. Outside, ball 4. And Bush just the second base runner for the Cubs tonight. And that will bring up Nico Horner. The Cubs have the tying run on. Bush the lead from first. And the pitch to Horner. On the ground to second. They'll go the short route over to De La Cruz. And that does it for the Cubs in the 6th. And how about this? 6 hitless innings for Hunter Greene. And we go the bottom of the 6th. It's still the Reds 1, the Cubs nothing. It'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Reds. Lux, Hayes, and Stewart trying to get some insurance for the Reds in this 1-0 lead. That Yankees-Orioles game, Yankees have just added a run in the top of the 5th. They now lead the Orioles 3-0. Still 7-0 Dolphins over the Bills, midway point in the first quarter in the Thursday night NFL game. They've reached the half in the decisive Game 3 of the WNBA playoffs between the Fever and the Dream. Atlanta leading Indiana 56-49. Also we do have a college football game tonight going on Thursday night. Rice and Charlotte. It's a 7-3 lead for the Rice Owls. Second quarter there over in Charlotte, North Carolina. Back to this one, the Reds lead the Cubs 1-0, and we go to the bottom half of inning number 6 in a game that is just flying by. Only about an hour and 15 minutes, and we're already heading to the bottom of the 6th. Gavin Lux will lead it off in the bottom of the 6th for the Reds. It's 1 for 2 with a single. Singled back in the first inning. And he's also struck out. As Hunter Greene. 6 hitless innings for the Cubs tonight. And Lux takes ball 1. 1-0 pitch down low, now 2-0. Hunter Greene only at 69 pitches in this game so far. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's outside for ball 3. .30 pitch taking all the way, and it's a strike. 3-1 now. Luck steps out momentarily. And the 3-1 pitch. Popped foul. That will get out of play, and that will fill the count, 3-2. Now, see, that's what fans are supposed to do with a foul ball. And that's strike 3 down the middle to Lux. Fan that caught that foul ball that gave it to a young man, 2 rows down. It's instead of that nonsense we had with the foul ball in Miami a couple weeks ago. One down here at the bottom of the sixth, and that will bring up the number 3 hitter, Austin Hayes. Hayes 2 for 2 tonight. Hayes lines this one into left field. This one's going to be playable out there, however, for the left fielder Ian Happ for out number 2 in the bottom of the sixth. And it will bring up the Reds cleanup hitter, Stewart, who struck out both his plate appearances tonight. Looking ahead to the Cubs' 7th inning, it's going to be Happ, Ballesteros, and Suzuki, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the top of the 7th. Pitches, ball 1. One-oh pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-1. One pitch, foul back, and the count now goes to 1-2. Colin Ray at 77 pitches. This will be pitch number 78, the 1-2 pitch to Stewart. Stewart strikes out for the 3rd time tonight, and that does it for the Reds in the 6th. On we go to the 7th. Cubs still looking for their first hit. They trail this game 1-0. The Brewers have broke that scoreless tie against the Angels with a run in the bottom of the 4th, so the Brewers now lead the Angels 1-0 heading to the 5th. Thursday night NFL, the Dolphins' early lead did not last long as the Bills have answered with a touchdown. That is now 7-7, 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Finals from earlier today. Cleveland completed the sweep of the Tigers with a 3-1 win. Cleveland making a late surge in the AL Central, trying to catch the Tigers. Was the deficit a little bit too big, though? We'll find out. Mets beat the Padres 6-1 earlier. The Mets, the team the Reds are catching for that 3rd and final wildcard spot. Rays shut out the first-place Blue Jays 4-0. Athletics win in Boston today, 5-3 over the Red Sox. Mariners shut out the Royals in Kansas City, 2-0. And the Marlins win in Denver over the Rockies 9-7. And coming up here in about an hour and a half out at Dodger Stadium, Dodgers hosting the Giants. First of a 4-game set out there. Dodgers and Padres in that battle in the National League West. Padres lost earlier to the Mets. So here we go for the top of the 7th inning. It's going to be Happ, Ballesteros, and Suzuki, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Cubs. Here in the top half of the 7th inning, trailing 1-0. And Hunter Green, both pitchers have been fantastic tonight, both starting pitchers. As it has been a whale of a pitcher's duel tonight between these two teams. A team that sees the Cubs, who have clinched a postseason spot, and the Reds, who are trying to get to postseason play. So here we go. First pitch, top of the 7th. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. To Happ. Happ hitless in 2 at-bats tonight. The strike 1 pitch right at the knee. Strike 2. 0-2. Strike 2 pitch from Hunter Green. Fouled away. Happ stays alive. In the 7th inning, over 70 pitches, and Green is still hitting 100 miles an hour on the radar gun. Another 0-2 pitch to Ian Happ. Called strike 3. Happ thought it was a little high in the zone, as he has a word with home plate umpire Edwin Moscoso as he heads back to the Cubs dugout. 1 down in the 7th. And here's Ballesteros. Good to see him back still see him in the game, as he was the one that was hit by that batted ball from Pete Crow Armstrong. That's fouled back, strike 1. Ballesteros, one of only 2 base runners the Cubs have had tonight. He reached on that error by De La Cruz in the 5th. Ballesteros fouls it away, and he's in an 0-2 hole. Ballesteros back in the box and awaits Hunter Green's 0-2 pitch. Fouled away to stay alive. Green's 0-2 pitch once again to Ballesteros. Downstairs, a ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch at the knee, strike 3, and Ballesteros knew it. Strikeout number 7 for Hunter Green. 2 outs in the 7th. And here is Suzuki. Suzuki an 0 for 2 night tonight. He is one of the 7 strikeout victims against Green and takes ball 1 low. One-0 pitch at the knee, strike 1. Counts even 1-1 on Suzuki. Suzuki's also popped out as well as striking out. 1-1. That's fair down the left field line, and the Cubs finally have their first base hit, and Suzuki will be in at second with a 2-out double, and the tying run is at second for the Cubs. That will break up the no-hitter after 6 2/3 innings for Hunter Green. And the Reds have the slightest of leads here at 1 run. Boy, that was just out of the reach of the third baseman, Stewart. That hit from Suzuki. And here's Kelly, and that's a 1 hop to second. McLean over to first, and that does it for the Cubs. They finally get their first hit of the game, but strands Suzuki at second. It's stretch time in Cincinnati. It's still the Reds leading the Cubs 1-0. For the Reds in the bottom of the 7th inning, it's going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters, Benson, Steer, and De La Cruz. They could use some insurance here with just the 1-run lead. Ray is at the 78 pitch mark through 6 innings. I would think he's probably going to be back out here for the 7th. Good news for the Cubs, the Angels have scored 2 in the top of the 5th in Milwaukee, so the Angels have taken the lead in that game 2-1. But for that to have a big bearing for the Cubs, they're going to have to come back in this one, and they have 6 outs left to do it. Yankees still leading the Orioles 3-0, top of the 6th at Camden Yards. So on we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. With the Reds leading 1-0, Reds trying to pull within 2 games of the Mets for that third and final wild card spot. So here's Benson. 1 for 2, had the RBI double for the only run of the game back in the 4th that brought in Austin Hayes. So back to it, bottom of the 7th inning. And quite the pitcher's duel tonight between these two teams. First pitch, bottom 7, inside, ball 1. One-zero pitch. That ball is ripped to right, but well foul. Boy, Benson got a big hit on that one, but hooked it. One pitch from Ray. Swing and a miss, and Benson now behind in the count, 1-2. Looking ahead to the Cubs' 8th inning, it's going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Pete Crow Armstrong, Dansby Swanson, and Matt Shaw. They're going to be at least down a run as Benson takes low here, 2-2. Two downstairs, and that will fill the count, 3-2. Will we see Hunter Green back out for the 8th inning is the question. Here's the payoff pitch to Benson. That's on the ground on one hop to Bush, and Bush beats Benson to the bag for out number 1. One down in the Reds' 7th, and it'll bring up Spencer Steer. Steer is 0 for 2 tonight. Steer fouls this one back for strike 1. A 1 pitch to Steer. Right down the middle, strike 2, and Spencer Steer in an 0-2 hole. Steer has struck out and grounded out tonight. Steers fouls off the 0-2 pitch to stay alive. Steer steps back in the box and awaits the 0-2 pitch once again from Colin Ray. And here it is. Low and outside. That's now a ball and 2 strikes, the count on Steer. Ellie De La Cruz on deck. 1-2 pitch to Steer. Fouled away again. '90th pitch of the night coming from Colin Ray. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Steer strikes out for the second time. That is now 10 strikeouts for Colin Ray tonight. And it brings up Elly De La Cruz. De La Cruz 0 for 2 on the night. De La Cruz takes strike one. De La Cruz has flied out and lined out in his 2 plate appearances tonight so far. Strike one pitch, swing and a miss, and De La Cruz went after a low one, and now he's behind 0-2. At 90 plus pitches, this is probably going to be Ray's last inning. And the 0-2 to De La Cruz. Swing and a miss. That's strikeout number 11 for Colin Ray. We head to the 8th in Cincinnati. It is still the Reds 1 and the Cubs 0. And again, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up. Pete Crow Armstrong, Dansby Swanson, and Matt Shaw. Will it be against Hunter Green? Hunter Green's at 82 pitches through 7 innings. Let's see if Terry Francona goes to the bullpen or if he lets Green come back out for the 8th. The decisive Game 3 between Indiana and Atlanta in the WNBA playoffs has gotten very close. It's a 2-point game now with 6:37 to go in the 3rd. Winner of that game moves on to the WNBA semifinals. Still 7-7 in the Thursday night NFL game, Dolphins and Bills, second quarter. Baseball scores, it's still 3-0. Yankees leading the Orioles, bottom of the 6th. Angels 2, Brewers 1, bottom of the 5th in Milwaukee. And here it's the Reds 1 and the Cubs 0. An RBI double in the bottom of the 4th inning by Will Benson that scored Austin Hayes, the only run of this game. 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error for the Reds. No runs, just the 1 hit. No errors for the Cubs. And Hunter Green is going to be back out to start the 8th inning on the mound for the Reds, as he has pitched outstanding. Both pitchers have been outstanding tonight, both starting pitchers. Both make it through 7 innings. The bullpens, both bullpens getting a little bit of a breather tonight, at least so far. So here we go. Pete Crow Armstrong leading off the top of the 8th for the Cubs. He is 0 for 2 tonight. And mentioned about both pitchers, Colin Ray, 11 strikeouts tonight for the Cubs. That is a new career high for him for strikeouts in a game. First pitch, top 8, Pete Crow Armstrong, swing and a miss, strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch. Strike 2 to Pete Crow Armstrong. 84th pitch, and that is still a 100-mile-an-hour fastball from Hunter Green. Pete Crow Armstrong, last time up, is the one that hit that batted ball that hit Ballesteros, as Pete Crow Armstrong fouls off the 0-2 pitch. Ballesteros stayed in the game. Looked like he got a little woozy there, taking that ball right off the side of the helmet. 0-2 pitch from Hunter Green to Pete Crow Armstrong. One hop to first. Underhand throw over to Green, who beats Crow Armstrong to the bag for out number 1 in the top of the 8th. Brings up Dansby Swanson. Swanson 0 for 2 tonight. A lot of zeros in that Cubs lineup in the hit column tonight. As we got a meeting on the mound here between Hunter Green and his catcher, his battery mate, Tyler Stevenson. And we're just about set to go here. And the pitch to Swanson, down low, ball 1. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Swanson's popped out and grounded out in his 2 plate appearances. The 1-1. One hop to short. De La Cruz fields, throws in time to retire Dansby Swanson for out number 2. And it'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Matt Shaw, who struck out both times up tonight. These 2 pitchers have combined for 18 strikeouts tonight. Hunter Green has 7. And I mentioned Colin Ray's career high 11 strikeouts tonight. Pitched from Green to Shaw is a strike. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 8th for the Reds, it's going to be 8, 9, and 1. Stevenson, McLean, and then the top of the order, Friedel. Shaw fouls the 0-1 back, and he's in an 0-2 hole. This will be pitch number 92 for Hunter Green. And here is his 0-2. Just missed the outside corner. Green was already heading back to the dugout. He thought he had strike 3. But just off the corner. According to the home plate umpire, Edwin Moscoso. 1-2 pitch on the ground to third. And the throw over to first. And 8 shutout innings for Hunter Green tonight. We head to the bottom of the 8th in Cincinnati. It is still the Reds leading the Cubs 1-0. And again, it's going to be 8, 9, and 1 in the Reds lineup. Stevenson, McLean, and Friedel. And it's probably going to be a relief pitcher. We've probably seen the last of the evening for Colin Ray, who, if the Cubs do not come back and at least tie this game in the 9th, this would be a hard luck loss for Ray. He has pitched outstanding tonight, but Hunter Green has been just a tad better. And it is going to be a new Cubs pitcher in the bottom of the 8th. It is going to be Michael Soroka, coming in to pitch. Just his 3rd game with the Cubs. Coming over from Washington. Soroka's just pitched just 4 innings in his previous 2 appearances with the Cubs. And he will try to keep this game where it is at 1-0. So the final line for Colin Ray. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned. No walks and 11 strikeouts. He threw 93 pitches. But unfortunately for him, is on the hook for the loss. Unless the Cubs can come back and at least tie it in the 9th. Tyler Stevenson leads it off for the Reds here in the bottom of the 8th. Overall numbers for Soroka between the Nationals and the Cubs is 3-8 with a 4.75 ERA. And the first pitch is fouled away for strike 1. Stevenson tonight has flown out and struck out. He was one of the 11 strikeout victims against Colin Ray. That pitch misses low, a ball and a strike. 1-1, outside, 2-1. It'll be the top of the order for the Cubs in the top of the 9th. Bush, Horner, and Happ, hoping to still just be trailing by a run. It's the 2-1 pitch on the ground, foul, third base side. That'll even the count 2-2. Soroka set to deliver the 2-2 pitch to Tyler Stevenson. Here it is. A bouncer to third. This is going to be a tough play. Quick throw in time to get Stevenson and the first out here in the bottom of the 8th. Great job there by Shaw at third base. Fielding the ball and immediately throwing to first base to get Tyler Stevenson. Here's McLean, who is 0 for 2. And that pitch misses low and outside, ball 1. One 0 pitch to McLean, fouled off third base side, ball and a strike. One pitch misses outside, 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Downstairs, it's now 3-1 on McLean. Three-one pitch. That's foul off the bat, and the count runs full, 3-2. Payoff pitch. Ball 4. Soroka walks the number 9 hitter, McLean. And he's aboard with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. And we're back to the top of the order now, and TJ Friedl. Friedl hitless in 3 at-bats tonight. Strike 1 to Friedl. Runner at first, 1 out for the Reds, looking for some insurance for their 1-run lead. Soroka's pitch to Friedl. Bounce foul. That'll make the count 0-2. Will Hunter Green get a chance for a complete game is the question. He has been outstanding through 8, shutting out the Cubs on just 1 hit. Here's the 0-2. To Friedel, he swings and misses, strike 3. That is 12 strikeouts by Cubs pitching tonight. And here's Gavin Lux. Lux is 1 for 3 with a single, and he struck out his other 2 plate appearances. Runner at first, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Soroka's pitch to Lux. Instead, it's a throw to first. McLean dives back in. McLean does have 17 stolen bases on the season. He's second on the Reds in steals this year. The pitch to Lux. Inside, ball 1. McLean, not a huge lead there at first base. And the 1-0 pitch to Lux is inside and low, 2-0. Soroka's 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Counts now 2-1 on Gavin Lux. Two-one pitch. Lux fouls it off. That'll even the count now 2-2. McLean, the runner at first with 2 outs. And Soroka's 2-2 pitch to Lux. A bouncer. That's a fair ball. Fielded by Kelly, and the throw to first to get Lux and retire the Reds in the 8th. We head to the 9th in Cincinnati. The Reds clinging to a 1-0 lead. And again, it's going to be the top of the order for the Cubs. Bush, Horner, and Happ due up here in the top half of the 9th inning. Needing a run to tie this game. Will Hunter Green get a chance for a complete game? Or will the Reds bring on Pagan? Or I would assume would be Pagan. Hunter Green's at the 93 pitch mark through 8 innings. Let's see if he gets a chance to close this. And Green is coming back out to try to get the complete game here in the 9th inning. Couple updates. It's still the Angels leading the Brewers 2-1. That game's bottom of the 6th in Milwaukee. Yankees still lead the Orioles 3-0. Top of the 7th in Baltimore. Blue Jays lost earlier today to the Rays, so the Yankees can pick up a game there. Red Sox failed to take advantage. They lost at home to the A's 5-3. We'll give you one final look at the baseball scoreboard at the conclusion of this game. Meanwhile, Thursday night NFL, the Bills have taken a 14-7 lead over the Dolphins about the midway point of the second quarter. Decisive Game 3 in the WNBA playoffs, Fever and Dream. It is a 3-point lead for Atlanta, closing in on the end of the third quarter. So that one's going down to the wire for a berth in the WNBA semifinals. Here it is 1-0 Reds, top of the ninth. And Bush will lead it off. It's the top of the order for the Cubs. Green needing 3 more outs to get a complete game. First pitch right down the middle, strike 1. New third baseman into the game for the Reds, Ke'Bryan Hayes. Swing and a miss by Bush. It's 0-2. Hayes replaces Stewart at third base. Green's 0-2 pitch to Bush. Instead, time called, and Stevenson going out to have another word with his battery mate, Hunter Green. The one hit by Suzuki in the top of the 7th inning, the only hit for the Cubs tonight. 0-2 pitch. Downstairs, a ball and 2 strikes on Michael Bush. Bush looks in. Green delivers the 1-2 pitch. Fouled away. Bush stays alive. One-two pitch. Downstairs. That'll even the count 2-2. Two-two pitch. Inside. That will fill the count. 3-2. And this next pitch will be number 100 for Hunter Green. The payoff pitch. And we'll do it again as Bush fouls it away. 100th pitch, and Green is still hitting the triple digits on his fastball. Green steps in again and is set to deliver another 3-2 payoff pitch to Michael Bush. Bush sends it in the air to right. That's going to stay in the park, though. On the warning track in right field, the catch is made by Benson for out number 1. Bush gave it a ride, but came up a little short. And here's Nico Hoerner. Hoerner swings and misses for strike 1. Hoerner's grounded out twice and hit into a fielder's choice. Oh, 1 pitch. Down low. Did Hoerner go around? He did. And it's 0-2. Hoerner could not hold up. And Stevenson again going out to his battery mate Green. Looks like Green's having a little bit of an issue with the signals. Home plate umpire Edwin Moscoso going out to see what the issue is as well. Looked like Green was signaling up here like he was having trouble getting the signal. But it looks like we might be set to go. Green's 0-2 to Nico Horner. At the knees, called strike 3. And Horner knew it. 2 down in the 9th. And it'll be up to Ian Happ to keep the game alive for the Cubs. The pitch from Green to Happ, strike 1. Happ has grounded out, lined out, and struck out in his 3 plate appearances. Oh, 1 from Green, swing and a miss, and now the Cubs are down to their final strike. Everybody standing at Great American Ballpark. The 0-2 pitch. Fouled away. Happ stays alive. Pitch number 108 for Hunter Green. Low, 1-2. One-two pitch. Called strike 3, and that's the ball game. Hunter Green, a 1-hit complete game shutout of the Cubs tonight, and a masterpiece on the mound tonight, and the Reds win it 1-0 in Game 1 of this 4-game weekend series, and the Reds pull within 2 of the wild card of the Mets for that final wild card spot. This was Hunter Green's first career complete game, first full 9-inning complete game of his career as he shuts out the Cubs on 1 hit. Reds win it 1-0, 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error for the Reds. They left 4 on base, no runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Cubs. They left 3 on base. Hunter Green, the win. He's now 7-4 on the season. Tough luck loss for Colin Ray tonight as he falls to 10-7 in front of 18,532 at Great American Ballpark tonight. They see the Reds win it 1-0 and pull within 2 games of the New York Mets for that final wild card spot in the National League. And with this Cubs loss, the Brewers' magic number is down to 4 to clinch the National League Central. They are trailing at home to the Angels 2-1. But they know now they're not going to lose any ground to the Cubs tonight atop the National League Central. One last look at the scoreboard before sign off on the live stream tonight. Cleveland completes a sweep of the Tigers 3-1. Cleveland making a late surge in the AL Central. Mets beat the Padres 6-1. Blue Jays shut out in Tampa Bay today 4-0. Red Sox couldn't take advantage, though, as the A's beat the Red Sox at Fenway 5-3. Mariners shut out the Royals in Kansas City 2-0. Marlins 9, Rockies 7. Games in progress. As I mentioned, the Angels lead the Brewers 2-1, bottom of the 6th in Milwaukee. Yankees have pulled away from the Orioles. That's now 7-0. Top of the 7th inning. And coming up in about 50 minutes at Dodger Stadium, first of a 4-game set between the Giants and the Dodgers. Giants still clinging to hope in the National League wildcard race as well. But here the Reds win it 1-0 on quite the pitcher's duel tonight. Again, my name is John, Sports Bonanza John, my YouTube page on Kick tonight as well, Sports Kick John. If you do like my content, would appreciate a like and subscribe. That would really mean a lot and go a long way, so I appreciate it. Again, upcoming live stream schedule will be with you for 2 college football games on Saturday. Start in the FCS. I believe it's a 3 o'clock Eastern Time kickoff. Indiana State and Montana. Montana ranked in the top 10 in the FCS poll, and that will be followed Saturday evening. Illinois and Indiana. Big early season battle in the Big Ten on Saturday night, and we'll be with you Sunday night as well for the Sunday night NFL game between the Chiefs and the Giants. Again, appreciate you joining me for this Reds 1-0 win over the Cubs tonight on the live stream. I will talk to you again for a live stream Saturday of college football. Thanks a lot, everybody.